Hola, and welcome to Career Confident Mujer, the podcast designed for jefas and jefitas of the professional world, the first generation professionals. From triumphs to challenges, we're here to share the stories that inspire you to become the jefa of your dreams. Welcome back to another episode of Career Confident Mujer, where the goal is to empower you to believe in your poder, believe in the power within, and see that you have what it takes to get yourself to the next level in your career. I'm so tired of hearing that women are living paycheck to paycheck and are really struggling to find their voice at work. So today we are going to be talking about how you can speak up effectively in the workplace. For a lot of us as first-gen Latinas, that can be really hard, especially when we receive pushback, because that can really challenge us and really add to the imposter syndrome that we feel in a lot of these spaces. So today we're going to talk about how you can speak up effectively at work, what to do, what not to do, and when to realize maybe that the environment that you're in isn't supportive of you speaking up, and maybe it's time for you to move on in your career and find an organization or a career that will value your input, because your voice is needed, your perspective is needed, and I want to remind you as your career confidence coach that you have what it takes, but maybe you just need to learn how to articulate yourself a little bit better. So that's what we're going to get into in this episode. So I've been excited. Lately, I have been working with multiple clients, and all of them are in different places in their career. But one common theme is how they can use their voice effectively in the workplace. Now, I have some clients that currently work in environments that they are burnt out because they've overextended themselves. They've said yes to a lot of things, and they have not spoken about their boundaries or even established healthy boundaries in the workplace. And I also have other clients that realize that they've been in toxic workplaces and they know they want better for themselves, but they just don't even know how to speak up, how to share their ideas, and they feel like it's hard for them to advance in their career because they're not doing the best at sharing and giving input, and it's keeping them stuck in their career. There can be a lot of different reasons why you may struggle with speaking up in your job, but I want to remind you that you sharing your insight, your input properly, done the right way, will help you advance within your career. A lot of times as Latinas, we're taught, calladita, te ves más bonita, you look better quiet, stay humble. But in reality, in order to advance in our careers, we need to be able to brag about ourselves, but also we need to be able to be leaders within our workplace, leaders within the careers that we choose to be. Whether you're an entrepreneur or working 9 to 5, you need to be able to understand how you speak your vision and how you share your ideas with other people. So let's get into it. I'm excited, and this seems to be a common thread. So let's talk about it. So, what are the don'ts? Okay. First off, if you are a person of color, you need to understand that there are a lot of stereotypes about Latinas speaking up in the workplace and being advocates and coming in just to change everything up and not understanding the climate or the culture of the organization. And I want to let you know that there is some truth to that, but there is also very much power in our uniqueness, that if we approach things the right way and we shared ideas with my special formula that we'll talk about a little later, if you share ideas the right way, it's going to land on people's ears and they're going to be able to buy into your ideas and support what you're stating in a meeting. So you definitely don't want to go into, let's say you're new to an organization, you definitely do not want to go into an organization off the bat recommending changes, why things are need to be new or moved around or changed up. Realize that you have to also respect the organization. It's been there a lot longer than you have. So why don't you take the first like 90 days at least to assess the culture and then be able to provide your input. So you never want to come in hot, okay, in your meetings. It's not going to help you. Also, you don't want to do things where if you have a disagreement or you have an idea with how things can be done better, if there's a specific person in charge, don't bring it up in a meeting in front of everybody to hear because that person's not going to be responsive. Instead, do it casually in a conversation or approach them outside of a meeting. Don't do it inside of a meeting with other people. You don't want to catch people off guard because then that's just going to bring up their defensiveness. So make sure that you know when you're speaking up at work that there's a time and a place for you to share your ideas. Now, what are the do's? With you understanding that there is a time and a place for you to share your ideas, you need to make sure that your ideas are not just your ideas for your benefit. If you share ideas because they only benefit you without providing a solution or an alignment with the organization's values and what their goals are, you're not going to be much of a change maker and it's not going to be heard and resonated with by your supervisors or by others within your organization. So when you want to share ideas, you want to make sure it's not about yourself. It's not one-sided, right? If you have ideas like something should be changed within the organization, or you could need more training, or you have an idea of an event to implement in order for you to reach your goals, all of these ideas, even if they're changes and like these things are not done the right way, we need more training, it could be negative, that's fine. But the way that you say it is, for example, I'm working with a client where she's a manager of a team and she feels overworked because she's taking on a lot of responsibilities, yet at the same time, she has not really reached out to higher ups to be able to support her. She says she's done it once or twice to request training, but it hasn't ever been followed through with. So I'm working with her to help her understand how is she bringing that up. And I'm learning that she's usually bringing it up casually in a conversation when it's reached a level where it's become disruptive to the workplace and her work environment that she should voice this up. So what I've recommended to her is teaching her how she should bring this up to her supervisor. And this is the way you should bring it up. First, you talk about what is the problem. Remember that the people that you report to are often seeing things at a 400-foot level. You might be on the ground running around with the customers, clients on the front of the line, and you have a different perspective. So the way that you share things, you have to be respectful and help them understand things from your level. So, for example, with my client, I'm offering her that she can basically tell her boss that lately she has been finding that a lot of her staff are feeling overwhelmed in the workplace because they have a lack of training, which is impacting how they're relating to the customers. And it's also creating a lag in time in serving their clients. This organization has goals for them to check in clients. It was within a medical field within a certain time period, although they were not meeting their metrics. And a large part of this was due to the training. So by bringing up this idea, you're also sharing that by investing in the training, we will help meet our goals for our customers and our metrics, right? So you see how I'm explaining the problem, but really talking about why this lower level problem should be at the attention of the administrator because of the fact that it is impacting the services. Now, if you did it the other way, where you're like, oh my gosh, my team is just like really overwhelmed and they just feel like they're not getting paid enough and they feel like they're being overworked. Well, what you highlighted was pay and overworked. So maybe the administrator will just offer, oh, them getting paid overtime, time and a half, and not seeing it as an issue. But if you relate it to issues that the organization should be paying attention to, then you'll be able to connect with other people and they will be able to see how you can bring your expertise to the table. And that's how you share your ideas and share your vision with others, by aligning it to what the organization should be doing. By holding people accountable to the organization's values, you will be heard and much better. So if you want to speak up in your meetings, that's a really good tip to help you navigate that. I know it can be scary, but I want you to remember that your perspective is so unique. And when you hold back in these meetings, you're really holding your own self back because of your fear of what other people will think. And I want you to remember that you have so much to offer. And even if you don't have a full resolution or a solution to the problem, it's all about how you bring it up, the time, the place, and you offering it with intentions of meeting the goal, not coming up and offering and speaking out because it's beneficial just to you and you're not connecting it to the bigger picture. I want you to speak up in meetings, and I hope that this podcast episode reminded you of what it takes in order to speak up. And I hope that you practice this, whether it's in small group settings, big meetings. Speak up. We want to hear your voice. I know that it can be difficult, but also, on the other hand, I want to talk to y'all. If you're hearing this episode and you're like, girl, I speak up all the time and it's a problem. If those tips that I said earlier are not resonating with you, you're like, I've done that. I've tried saying it the nice way. I've done it. I've aligned it with the values, Cindy. I've done all that. Okay. If you've done all that, then maybe it's time that you assess the organization that you're in. Yeah. It's time for you to assess the organization that you are in and see that maybe that place is not ready for change. Maybe that place is not wanting to be held accountable, and maybe it's your time to move on. So if there's something keeping you stuck in your career and stuck to that place, work with me as a career confidence coach, and I'll help you find jobs that are better aligned with who you are and be more fulfilling, because you deserve to be working in a place where you feel heard and you feel valued. So I hope that this episode resonated with y'all, and I can't wait to hear the stories about how you're starting to speak up in your careers and see the impact that it is putting on your success. So don't forget to stay poderosa and always be courageous in every room that you're in. Until next time, stay confident, mujer. Bye. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Career Confident Mujer. I hope you found inspiration and valuable insights to fuel your own career journey. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Remember, you are not alone on this path. Take care and remember that you deserve it, mujer.